going on, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for this full moon in Sagittarius. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles. It's good to be back here with you guys. It's been a while. Hope everybody's doing amazing through these crazy-ass times. It's a wild one out there. This full moon in Sagittarius, now with Jupiter in Cancer. This full moon in mutual reception with Jupiter. There's a lot of optimism. Whether we can see it or not, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of potential. Because the Jupiter energy is finally coming back for people, right? And this isn't like, oh, this is good luck for everybody. No, this is the potential and the idea, right? To be able to see the vision, the larger picture, and be able to go after it. And with these squares with Saturn and Neptune over to Jupiter in Cancer, and we just had Mercury in Cancer come off of this square to Saturn and Neptune. It's like we can see it. Look, I mean, this is not only challenging our identity and our self-identity, and it's like, wow, this used to make me feel secure and safe. But where this energy is pushing us into is a whole nother paradigm. This is, the word paradigm shift gets thrown out so loosely, but I will say, if we're looking at the collective and what's going on, and if we can look at our personal lives, because I know in my personal life, and I know in most people watching this can say, we're all feeling this, that this is a push towards something better, something more bigger, bolder, and beautiful, and more secure, and also getting back to the basics. Jupiter in Cancer wants to get back to the basics. We've had this Saturn and Neptune in Pisces for so long, or this Neptune in Pisces for so long, and then we had Saturn at the very end wrapping it up, and we still have more to take care of with Saturn Neptune coming back into Pisces at the end of the year. But this is it. This is the first time we're seeing this full moon in Sagittarius with Neptune and Saturn in Aries and in a fire sign. And thank God that this full moon in Sag is happening with Jupiter in Cancer. It would have been no other way, but hypothetically, it would be a much different story with Jupiter in its detriment at the very end. All right, so this is so much more potential for everybody. And these squares from Saturn and Neptune, as difficult as they can feel, as much tension as it can feel, inside of us, like we're seeing it. Now people are just ready to fucking go. They're ready to rock. And we have, a collective now standing up. This is what I believe, and this is what this person believes, and we're gonna set this shit over the fuck it. It's just this effort energy, right? But also like for a purpose towards where Jupiter's trying to take us, and that's what this full moon is reminding us: is that look, we have to push through this shit. This friction that we're coming through, we have to push through it, because what's on the other side is a more optimistic, hopeful, beautiful, more secure life. But there's so much cleanup that we have to do in our lives right now. And it's happening in the world. It's almost like a cleanup, right? It's like a God's broom, we could call it. And of course, with this full moon too, it's like this Mars-Uranus square that's just building here. Mars is 26, but by this weekend, it's going to be a pop, okay? We thought, what's going on now is crazy. Like, this shit is going to be fucking wild. So, and we can already start to see it. Be careful out there. Don't get caught up in any of the mess. Don't get caught up in any ego battles with people, because, it's gonna pop. It's going to pop off. And, maybe some of these things need to pop off. Because with a Mars square Uranus, this is totally unexpected. But this is fixed signs, ego clashes. Big time. And with Saturn, Neptune, and Aries, this is some serious forward-moving energy, right? And then after this full moon too, it's going to make a trine over to Mars after it squares the nodes. So, this full moon is going to there's this karmic fated moment of like, you know what? We have to go through. It's like you're flying through an airplane, and it's like you could see, the clouds ahead, right? When you're looking out the window, it's a beautiful day, and all of a sudden you're flying through a whole section of clouds and you can't even see up or down. It's just you're in a cloud. You're there. And this full moon has to break through some of that. And this is once this moon like squares the nodes and the events that are going to take shape in our lives and in the world and in the collective. Like these are going to be the moments where we're going to finally start to see us breaking through the veil karmically of all the confusion and the deception and the illusions and the delusions that we've been experiencing with Neptune in Pisces for the past 15 years. And of course, Saturn wrapping that up as they both came into Aries, right? This was the buildup to that. It was just murky and muddy and sluggish. And now it's just like, people are ready. People are ready because there is a new adventure on the other side. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Not a ballad. Maybe a ballet, right? Maybe a ballet. But, at the same time, Mercury's in Cancer too. So we don't want to let our emotions get the best of us with this full moon. It's just interesting because, Cancer ruled by the moon, Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. So having this mutual reception, it's like our feelings, our emotions, our optimism, this new sense of truth and knowing. It's like, no, I know for sure now, right? And this moon making this square to the North Node after this and coming through the next few days, there's this sense of like, I know for sure. I know for sure where I stand on these issues. I am more sure about my belief systems. Or maybe this could be a moment where your belief systems just completely get shattered. And that's the thing where Jupiter and Gemini are really brought on is that dual, we could see it in that whole past year. It went from, the collective speculating, there's all these different ideas to now it's like, you're either stoked about what's going on or you're really upset. Right. And this is, not only just not in the collective too. I mean, in relationship issues, we've seen how the external stuff coming in is affecting relationships. A lot of these beliefs and ideological disruptions and conflict. It's severed personal relationships. And this Venus that just squared Pluto. It's off now, but it happened the past couple of days. There's just like, in this relationship, I don't fucking need this anymore. Screw this. This is where we're going. And with this full moon, it's like this is the journey we're on now. This is where I'm headed. I support you where you're headed too, right? And I think hopefully going through this with this Mars-Uranus square over the weekend, coming into next week, and really the next 15 days after this full moon, by the time you get to the new moon in Cancer, which is also gonna be crazy. This is a big reminder. We haven't had a full moon in Sag without Neptune in Pisces, and for 15 years, and now with Saturn in Aries, we haven't had a full moon in Sag without Saturn there too, in the past 2.5 years. So it's just, this is like so much false belief and deception and things that we've just fell for, and just starting to. Maybe not, more like it's melting off, right? Like it's like the candle is lit, but the wax is falling, and it's just the wax falling is our old fucking beliefs. We're shedding skin, right? This is such an amazing time, and we're not gonna have a moment like this where it's just like, and it launches us into this whole new thing if we're willing to take the journey. But we can see where the split has happened with Jupiter and Gemini over the past year, and now where we're at, where this full moon is revealing us. It's like, there's two belief systems and two halves of the brain that are not functioning, where there's complete separation, right? So we want to be able to navigate this from a fourth dimensional perspective. And I know a lot of us, in the astrology community, that's why we're here, because that's what astrology helps, it's the lens to be able to look at things as a whole, the totality of the whole. That's why I always loved how Jeffrey Green would describe astrology. Astrology is the totality of the whole. And I really feel that way. It's like being able to see things from the outside is the place to be, right? Because with Saturn, Neptune, and Aries, it's just like, you can see it. There's just people who are only just coming out of their eyeballs, and they're not really seeing. It's just full head first, bam. And we need that energy. We need that to come through, and we need this conflict and this friction from this Jupiter square to Saturn and Neptune, and Mars squaring Uranus, which is going to be incredibly shocking for people. And our relationships being tested with Venus and Taurus squaring Pluto. And Venus isn't getting the most love now, until this is the last time we're going to have a Venus in Taurus getting close to Uranus. And I don't know if it's going to conjunct with Uranus. I think it's going to Venus is going to conjunct with Uranus, I think, as it's ingressing. I have to look at that chart again, but it's like, Venus and Taurus is a completely different space now. So I just think we have to be ready for, it's not even this full moon now. It's how this is going to play out for the next 15 days until we get to the new moon. And I think, just being able to stay in your lane and stay in your own core beliefs and values, I think that's what's really going to help us get us through to the other side, through this friction and this intensity, right? So, and just be careful this weekend with this Mars square Uranus energy. It's volatile, Saturday and this whole thing with everything going on. It's been wild. It's been wild to see. So, and coming off of the Venus retrograde, which was so focused on relationships, it's like now we're moving into a whole different focus out of, Venus retrograde, Mars retrograde, and very mercurial times with Jupiter and Gemini. It's like now this is Jupiter energy, and this full moon is bringing us into that with this mutual reception between the moon and Jupiter. And Mercury just came off of Jupiter in Cancer, that's the message. We got the message. Finding a better, more wholesome, whole place for the heart and for the home and for just, and whatever that takes, whatever battle and whatever fight we have to fight to get to that place, that's the message right now. And that's where we're headed. And we have to always remember that even that this tension now, the whole goal is for where, these very adventurous times are taking us with all this Jupiter energy. So I hope this was helpful. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about a lot of things. But, I think next week I'll bring some horoscopes back. I have a lot going on right now. So, and I've had a lot going on. A lot of exciting stuff in my life and in my personal life and career stuff. And it's really exciting. I don't want to go into it too much, but I hope everybody's doing amazing. I love sharing the astrology with you guys and, just being able to just dump my brain. So I appreciate it. I love all of you, and I will see you next time, whenever that is. And it may be soon. I don't know. But Uranus is on my ascendant, so it'll be a surprise. Peace out.